Hey, everybody. Welcome back. You're listening to The Blodgett Show. I want to welcome everybody to this week's Real Talk Tuesday. The topic for this week is going to be there's always something to be thankful for. This is episode 60. So, once again, guys, welcome. Appreciate you being here. So, the inspiration for today's topic is always something to be thankful for. It's kind of like when you go into either an establishment or let's say like a friend or coworker or something. Says, hey, how you doing today? And my response a lot of times is, could be better, could be worse. Could always be better, could always be worse. And so, I guess like especially this week, I've had to take the approach of trying to, instead of focusing on what's wrong, trying to focus on the good. Try to turn the negative into a positive. This week, pretty much we had only had like the first 2 days, 2 days of my regular route, and then the last couple days, pretty much I had the last time I saw the team that's filling in for the one that I normally deal with. They're on vacation, but the one that's filling in for the current team, I only literally saw them for 2 days this week. Because on the second day, I guess they got held up in weather, so literally I got there at 9:40 and they didn't get there until like really late. So probably like 1 in the morning. And then the next day, I got a message from my boss basically saying that the Minnesota team is running 6 hours behind. So either I would leave and do my route that night, basically be running really late, and it cancels on Friday because of us being so far behind, or he sent me on a smaller, small stuff that night. I was like, all right, makes sense. So I figure I'm gonna send you out to Knoxville. Ended up changing a couple times. Ended up going to Bowling Green, and that went from Bowling Green to Lebanon, and Lebanon back to Nashville, whatever. Not a big paying day. I definitely lost money there, but at the same time, I still made money. I wasn't it wasn't a $0 day. It just wasn't a full dollar day. So right there, that's one of the things where I'm like, well, hey, I worked. I wasn't happy about the amount of work, but I know that it could, like I said, it could always be worse. I could have not had anything to do. Could have been sitting at home. And so, like the next day, basically, I wake up, I check the app, don't have any loads assigned, so I message my boss, like, so what's the deal? Like, what's going on today? Oh, the team's stuck in a blizzard. Because basically what they said they were going to do was that I would do something else that day, and the next day they would have a different team come down because the original team would still be running behind, so they obviously wouldn't get back in time. So they would try to get a different team to come down, which they did, and that team got stuck in a blizzard. So Space Guy they've canceled. The team's stuck in a blizzard up there. So problem I have whenever my load cancels, because usually I'll leave with my load about like 5 o'clock, and I can get back to the hub like 3:30, 4 o'clock. Usually it's the latest. Sometimes it's a little bit later if I run a little bit further behind. But usually by between 3 and 4 at the latest. And sometimes as early as like 2:30, I can get back to the hub. Depends on how early I can get out with the load. Like if I can take off like 4:45, then usually I'm there by like between 9 and 9:30, and I'm out of there in Illinois by 10 o'clock. So that means I'm back by like literally 2:30 unless I have to stop and get fuel or whatever. So so the problem I have whenever my load cancels is basically the routine is basically, oh, just hang out and wait until like 8:30. We're gonna reach out to them. They want us to reach out to them by 8:30, or they're gonna call us by that time or something, whatever my boss usually says. So and apologize about the little brief pause. The entire family, I guess, we're all fighting off a little bit of the cold bug. I've had it for a couple days. Not too bad. Just a little bit of a scratchy throat, a little bit of congestion, got a little bit of my nose, but I'm not like stuffy, but it's kind of like half stuffy. Where I can breathe, but you can tell that, So, in these last couple days, I did that night where I basically went to Bowling Green and then to Lebanon and back. The next day, when the team was stuck in a blizzard, I was told, oh, we'll get back with you by like 8:30 or by 8 o'clock. And then for 7:40, he literally texted me, he goes, so you need to head to Nash, and you're gonna take an empty to Mount Juliet, and you need to be to Mount Juliet by 9:15, and you're gonna be heading to Knoxville. I'm like, okay. So I was like, all right, Of course I was late. I mean, I got to Nashville and I had to wait on them to load me, because I was told by my boss, you're taking it empty. I got in, I didn't have any loads assigned to me in the app, so I had to call Linehaul and basically be like, yeah, can you set me up? I'm told I'm taking it empty to Mount Juliet, and then from there I'm getting loaded to go to Knoxville. And they're like, oh, hold on, actually, let me talk to the planner really quick. Stand by, put you on hold. I always love that. It's not a, hey, can you please hold, wait for your response. It's, all right, stand by, please. Then you listen to, whatever elevator music is playing, I'm like, oh, okay. 5 minutes of waiting, listen to music go by. She goes, well, I'm sorry, sir, what's your truck number? Like, I tell her, she goes, all right, stand by. Bloop, okay, here we go again. Another couple minutes. She comes back, she goes, yeah, the planner says that they're going to set you up with a loaded 53-footer to go to Nashville, or to go to, they call it East Nashville, but it's Mount Juliet, It's like half an hour away. I don't understand why they call it East Nashville. It's kind of weird, but, So, I was like, all right, but then usually in the app we can, like if it's a FedEx trailer, we can hit the location. There's like a location option where you can show, because each trailer has GPS, and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes the GPS is the last area that it pinged was like days ago or in a different state or something. I picked up trailers here here in Nashville that showed that they were in like Virginia, or I think I picked up one that showed it was in California. I was like, oh, that's not accurate. Especially because then I would look at the other trailer and it would show that it's near me, and I'm like, okay, so one of them's tracking okay, but the other one's showing that it's in like 5 states away. So I'm like, oh, alrighty, but so, but the thing that I don't like about the when my load cancels, I'm trying to stay on topic, even though I'll admit, like, I'm like 90% here, because like this morning, for instance, like after running the second night and going to Knoxville and coming back that night, on my way to Knoxville, my boss texted and basically said, like, hey, can you, on your way back from Knoxville, can you go to Lebanon and have them do a quarterly inspection of the truck? I was like, yeah, sure, okay. I love that during certain questions I'll ask, like, I just won't get a response. Like, sometimes I'll respond, other times I'll be crickets. I'm like, got people working for, he's not, he's the manager, he's not necessarily the guy I work for, but, he's the one I answer to, so he's not the one that pays the bill, pays the paycheck, but he's the guy I deal with, so he's the one that whenever loads cancel, whatever, or if we need to do something, he's the one that lets us know pretty much. But so he said like QBI, which I kind of figured was quarterly vehicle inspection, but I was like QBI. I was like, I've never heard that acronym before. Like usually they say, can you go do your quarterly? But I figured QBI, quarterly vehicle inspection. So I messaged back like, so I'm assuming that's quarterly vehicle inspection, right? No response. Okay. I was like, all right, well, yep, I'll get it done. So I get to Knoxville, and I go in there, and of course I don't have any loads assigned. Love when I get a way station 1 mile, and follow road signs, you know, and I'm like, I'm not seeing anything over there, so it's like one of those rest area / way stations, and I'm like, yeah, this one's like never open, so I don't know. Of course, you know, it's not like there's any signs or whatever saying like, hey. Yeah, literally, it's like one of those little pull-off, says rest area or parking area, way station, and like literally all there is over there is trucks. You know, I'm going off of what Drivewise just said. Basically, usually it's like if it's closed all the time, Drivewise is always like bypass. But sometimes it's pull in to less closed. I'm like, that's not even a real way station. That's like a little pull-off parking area. So. So I'm like, yep, sure, I'll take it to Lebanon. Why not, you know? And while I'm sitting there in Knoxville, I don't have any load assigned, so I have to go in there and talk to them. Like, yeah, I'm trying to get back to Nashville or whatever. At that point, I hadn't, you know, I didn't know if I was going to get routed to Lebanon, and then basically get routed from Lebanon to Nashville, so that way go to Lebanon, get the inspection done, and then, you know, go from there to Nashville. But while I was doing my 30-minute break and I heated up my food, was sitting in the truck eating real quick during my 30 at Knoxville, my phone goes off, and of course by that point I'm thinking it's like 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning at that point, and I figure, okay, my phone's going off at 1:30. It's probably not a collector or something, you know. And plus, it was like I could tell it was like one of the local area codes around the Nashville and surrounding areas. So I went ahead and answered it, and I was like thinking, like, oh, it's one of the FedEx hubs probably. And it was Lebanon apparently. Hey, Chris, someone's from Lebanon. They call it Lears. You know, I don't know what the acronym stands for, but I'm just like, I just call it Lebanon. But she's like, yeah, hey, so when you get down here to us, do you think you would be able to go to Birmingham, Alabama? I think she said Birmingham. I'm like, how far of a trip is that? She was, it's like 4 hours round trip. And I was like, well, hold on, let me look at how much time I have on my clock. You know, my DOT available hours. And I looked, was like, well, I mean, I was like, I'm at like 7 right now. I was like, by the time I get to you guys, I think I'm gonna have like 4.5 hours left of my 11. I was like, if you say it's 4 hours round trip, and 4.5 hours left of my time does not account for. That doesn't like 4 hours doesn't account for getting loaded here in Lebanon or getting loaded down there in Alabama to come back. And if I do doubles, it could easily take me 30 or 40 minutes, depending on if I have to move the trailers around to a better area, you know, to hook them up. Because a lot of times I have to do that. Sometimes they're in an area where there's plenty of room in front, where I can put the dolly in front of one, and then I can pull the other one in front of that trailer, in front of that dolly, back it up, and still have plenty of room to do it. But sometimes there's like trailers in like one row, there's row trailers not far in front of it, and yeah, technically you could set up in there, but it's really tight. So whatever trailers are set up like that, and my trailers that I'm picking up are in those rows, I usually I'll grab the rear trailer and I'll hook up to it, get everything all hooked up, and I'll pull it out of that space and I'll drive it around and park it somewhere in a wide open area that I know that I can easily maneuver and get things set. Especially parked in an area where I know that the parking lot is somewhat level, because sometimes there's, you know, different areas depending on how the parking lot where you're at. you might realize without being able to really see it that you're on a little bit of a slant because you go to disconnect the dolly from the back of your truck, and it wants you to roll backward, or you can't. You have to push it with all your might to push it away from the back of the truck just to set it down. But then you have to pull the brake because otherwise it's just gonna free roll. Pull the little handbrake on it, which I do anyway when I set up in front of the trailer, so that way I can back up against, back up to where I can feel it, and then I can pull forward a little bit. Some drivers will back up and you'll hear them actually like hit it, but I don't do that. I back up to where you feel the tension. Okay, cool. There's the dolly. It's like pressing up against a dock. Oh, there's a dock. All right, cool. But so I told her, yeah, I didn't think I would be able to pull it off with my time. She said, all right, that's fine. All right. So we'll see when you get here. Like, all right, cool. And I was like, you know what? If I had an extra hour, like instead of 4.5 hours, by 5.5, then I would have been like, yeah, let's do it. I'll go ahead and cover it for you. Probably be a decent, be a decent extra pay. So went ahead, I got at. All right, get a little tongue tighter. Sorry about that. It's the, I wouldn't call it a sick brain, but cold brain, where you're like, plus I've been up all night literally, so I'm like on my way to Nash. My last load, which technically loaded or dispatched with an empty trailer, but as long as we're hauling, we get paid. Whether it's empty or loaded, we basically, we're still dispatched, we're still getting paid the same. So it's like basically moving equipment around. But so I got almost up to Lebanon, and Nashville calls me. They're like, hey, well, actually, I think I had missed a call, and I recognized the area code again as one of the hubs. It was like I have some of their numbers saved, but apparently they have a lot of different numbers. So sometimes they'll call me from a number that I don't have, and so I'll randomly save that number as like Lebanon Line Haul or Nashville Line Haul, just so that if they call me again, maybe it'll pop up and I'll recognize it. But plus, depending on the time of day they call me, a lot of times I'll go ahead and answer anyway, because if they're calling me at 2 a.m., I'm thinking, yeah, this is probably FedEx. I was like, I don't know anyone aside from my buddy Dave I've been chatting with a lot lately. But other than chatting with him, there's really not anybody else that will call me in the middle of the day. So I call them back. I'm like, hey, Nashville Line Haul. Like, hey, did you guys try to call me? He goes, yeah, who's this? Like, what's your truck number? And I told him, oh, Mr. Blodgett. Okay, yeah. How far away are you from Lebanon? I said, like, 2 exits, like probably 5 minutes away. Oh, okay, cool. Would you be able to help us with a load? I'm like, what do you need? He goes, we need a load ran to East Nashville, which is Mount Juliet. I was like, is it a single, or are you guys gonna need me to do a set, like a doubles? He was just gonna be a set, like, fuck. I was like, yeah, I can do it. So they go into Mount Juliet, it's like 30 minutes from Nashville. It's not that bad, so. And I knew I had the time, and I figured I know my boss is always preaching at us that like anytime they ask us to do an extra run, if we're able to do it, that only makes things look good for the company, because that way we'll get more loads offered to us in the future. Just like the day after, or the day that they got stuck in the blizzard, and I was waiting until 8 o'clock or whatever, and I was like, crap, that means it's canceled today, and I barely ran the night before, so I was like, crap, next paycheck is gonna really suck. And I, kind of got a little lecture from him. Like, well, like a lot of our drivers, there's a lot of drivers that have actually been sitting a lot during this peak season, because FedEx has been I guess FedEx during peak season sells loads to outside carriers. They call it peak purchase power. And so a lot of the contractors that actually drive for FedEx exclusively got screwed because they didn't have as much freight to run, because the loads are being outsourced instead of having their own drivers do it, which, I don't know, maybe FedEx did it for the money or something. Maybe they do that so they make more money by selling the loads that way or something. I don't know. I think it's bullshit, honestly, you know, because like you have these contracted drivers that are contracted to your company, so they should be the ones that get the top priority of the freight. What do I know? I'm just a driver, right? But so my boss is like, well, a lot of drivers have been sitting, like, you know, you're like, I've managed to keep you on Farina all this time, this entire peak, and you've actually ran pretty consistently, like, all the time, so be grateful. And I said, don't get me wrong, sir. I said, I am grateful. I do appreciate everything you do. I was like, I know there's a problem. I know there's a lot of drivers that, you know, probably are sitting a lot more than me. I know that whenever I have to sit for a day or two because there's no load, I'm kind of irritable myself, but you know, I wanted to be a smart ass slash asshole with him and be like, because I know, yes, I should be grateful for the fact that I am grateful, you know, like I said, there's always something to be thankful for or whatever. So I am thankful to have work, thankful to be employed, that, you know, I have a good route whenever it runs. Even though lately, up until recently, you know, it's been running consistently. It's just recently, this week, lost like 3 days. But that was mostly because the team up there have kept running into issues. So like literally, I ran 2 days, then 3 days I didn't, you know. But at least I managed to get out here and do something. So like I said, like Bowling Green the first night, Knoxville, Lebanon. Basically, the second night, I did. After Lebanon, I agreed to the load that Nashville needed me to do. So basically, when I got back there to Nashville, I had to hook up a set of doubles and run to Mount Juliet. And he told me basically like, yeah, you're just gonna come back. I was like, well, will they need anybody to load me there in Mount Juliet to come back? He was, you'll probably just grab an MT-53 and come back. All right, cool. So I got out there and, you know, with the load to Mount Juliet, and I dropped those trailers, and they didn't have anything in there, so I had to call. And of course, it looked like the line haul office was pretty dark. There was probably somebody in there, but I really don't want to go in and find out. So I just called Nashville and basically said, yeah, I just dropped the load over here to Mount Juliet. And I was told I'd probably be coming back, being dispatched with an MT-53. I don't know if there's anybody working over here. Can you set me up? He's like, yeah, I gotcha. What's your truck number? He's like, all right, you're all set up. All right, cool. Went and hit the bathroom really quick, and went and found a 53-footer, hooked up to it, dispatched myself, put all the information in the computer, and took off. You know, so I got back yesterday at like 7. Yeah, it was like 7-ish when I was finally on my way out of the hub, heading home. And so all day yesterday, you know, because of course I asked the boss on the day that the team got stuck in the blizzard. I said, what's going to happen tomorrow? Because the main team was running really late, so they had another team to run the next day, but they got stuck in a blizzard. So is it going to run tomorrow? He goes, I have no idea. Okay, great. Yeah. All right, it's one of those where my boss, he's a pretty nice guy, but I deliberately try not to have to ask him too many questions, because it's kind of the kind of guy that, you know, if you ask too many questions, you kind of get the impression that you're pissing him off, you know. And I'm like, even though they're valid questions, you know, but he's a busy guy, I guess. So got too much going on, doesn't want to deal with little minions like us, you know. But so of course the next day, you know, after asking them, do you know if we're running tomorrow? Because they got stuck in a blizzard today. Are they gonna even be able to make it back so that they can run tomorrow? I don't know. So today, I wake up, you know, after I think I had my alarm set for like 3 o'clock, and mainly because I didn't get to sleep until probably like 8 o'clock in the morning. And so got up at 3, didn't have any load assigned, so I messaged my boss. I said, what's the plan? Like, what's going on? He's like, yeah, free to cancel. He's like, give me till 8 o'clock to see if they want to check back in with him. I was like, all right. So I was just downstairs hanging out with my wife. my oldest and her kiddo, my grandson, got home probably by like 6, and I guess she was really tired. He's not feeling good, obviously, so he's passed out. And she went into her room and laid down and fell asleep. So we carried the grand kiddo in there eventually. Basically laid him on the bed with her, said climb up there with mama, you know. So she pulled the blanket back and he got under the covers with her, and me and my wife were just watching I think we were watching, what was it called? What's it called? Shit, I can't even. It's like a new superhero movie or series that involves a Native American woman. I'm sure if you guys see, normally I would be able to. He's like on the tip of my tongue. It's like it's right there, but I can't seem to bring it out. You know, and part of that is because it's like damn near 7:30 right now in the morning, and I'm still like probably an hour at least. Well, let me see. Yeah, probably at least an hour away from Nashville or whatever. But so last night, see, it's funny, like, because of the schedule I work, still for me it's today, even though technically today for me is tomorrow for everyone else. Because when I came to work, it was still technically yesterday, and now it's tomorrow. But for me, I've been working, so it's still today. Yeah, I can talk circles like that for quite a while. But so he did the usual. All right, give me till like 8:30. I'm gonna check back in with him. See if we have anything. All right, cool. Like literally 8 o'clock rolled around. Me and my wife are just we're watching this series, and my wife's like, so have you heard anything yet? I was like, no, not yet. I was like, at this point, I'm kind of assuming I'm probably not working because I haven't heard anything. But I'll reach out to him over the next 20 minutes to find out. 8:25 came along and my wife started cooking dinner, and I thought, at that point I figured 8:25. I was like, at this point I'm probably not working, right? But I thought, you know what? I'm gonna go hit the store. I'm gonna go grab like a small thing of margarita mix. Because I had a couple drinks in the fridge. And I thought, well, if I'm not working, then I'm gonna be drinking because Sunday's my regular off day, So I was like, figured off for the next 2 days or whatever. So, but I literally walked upstairs. Figured, all right, I'm gonna get out of my my comfy shorts, get into my regular clothes, go hit the store, and I get upstairs. I get a text message, and it's like, hey, yeah, so Knox or like Knoxville, and or it's like it was like Knox Kodak, 10:15. So I responded with like, does that mean that I am getting loaded to go to Knox or Kodak at 10:15, or that you expect me to be at Knox or Kodak at 10:15? Because it was 8:30 at that point. Knox is at least, Kodak is 200 miles away, and I think that's like 30 miles further than Knoxville. So it's like Knox is probably 170. Probably it's 3 hours at least, closer to 4 for Kodak or whatever. And I was like, he's like, no, like you gotta be at Nashville by like 10:15, and you're going to Knox or Kodak, or they might send you to both. And I'm like, okay, cool. By that point it was like 8:40, and I was like, well, at least I have. It's not like the other day. Literally, he messaged me at 7:40 and said, yeah, you need to be like leave now, and you need to be to East Nash by 9:15. And of course, I got there like 9:25, but there's preloaded, so literally it wasn't a big deal. I dropped my loaded trailers, went on the app, whatever, saw the next load, went ahead and found the trailer, and got hooked up and took off. That night was thankfully mostly singles, one trailer. Tonight has been more doubles, So basically what they did, they sent me to Kodak with a loaded set of doubles, and he told me when he sent me out there, like, yeah, you're gonna go there and come straight back. Okay, cool. My boss was like, when he dispatched, or when he told me about the load, he said, well, on your way back, like if you want the extra work, like, Lebanon probably has a load going to Bowling Green. Bowling Green is like an hour and a half away from Lebanon. And then Bowling Green would be like an hour from Nashville. And I was like, by that point, thinking, well, I'm gonna get loaded probably by like 11. I was like, probably gonna be really late by the time I even get back, on my way back from Knoxville. I was like, I would do it, but I was like, I didn't got to bed like 8 o'clock yesterday. It really, because I said that, and yet here I am. It's like 7:30 right now, and I'm still an hour outside of Nashville or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it sucks. But that's not surprising me that it was like, yeah, meet up there like 10:30. And it was like 11:40 before I got out of there because I had to move the trailers around and stuff. So that was fun. That was fun. I was, part of why, I told him was like, I really don't volunteer for extra stuff too often because I do not want to do multiple loads of doubles per night because, those dollies, and for anybody who's dealt with doubles, those dollies aren't exactly light. Sometimes they're okay, but there's some dollies that I guess are a little more heavier built, and so you literally lift up that front end and you're like, holy shit! Feel like you're gonna like, pass out or buckle under the weight or something. Sometimes you lift it up like, oh, that's not bad. So I get all the way out to Kodak probably by like 3:30ish, 3:15, 3:30, and then I drop after I get my trailers dropped. And I have the dolly drop temporarily, and I'm bobtailing around going, all right, I want to, I hit the bathroom, I got to find, the main entrance, so I can go and hit the bathroom and see if it's more convenient to try to heat up my meal here, or if I want to, because they had me set up to do another set of doubles, but 2 empty trailers going to 30 miles away to Knoxville. I was like, oh shit, man. Because I was hoping to just go straight back, or get out, like maybe get a loaded 53, or if I had to do a set of doubles, then straight back to Nash. But like, no, grab 2 empties and go to Knoxville and shit. Fuck. So I found the little break room area, had my food heating up while I was hitting the bathroom, and then filled my water bottles up. Came back to the truck. I went and tracked down a couple of empties. Took me a while. I finally got out of there. I think like I was there for over an hour, so it was close to 5 when I finally left. Then I got over to Knoxville, thinking like they better not be having me bring in 2 empties and then take 2 loadeds. Have to do this whole setup thing again. I was like, that's gonna suck. I was like, well, I'll do it. Only perk about that is we get paid. We actually get paid for each hookup. It's like I set them out if it's a single, and it's a little bit more if it's a set of doubles. So it's like I think it's close to like $20 if it's a set of doubles, like 15 if it's like a single. We get the drop and hook pay or whatever, which is pretty cool. It adds up if you do. That's the one thing one perk if you do multiple loads in a night, that you're getting that drop and hook pay, so that adds up quick. So I wasn't too worried about. I told my boss when he mentioned going to Bowling Green this night or last night. I was like, I would normally do it because of the extra money, but at the same time, half my work last night technically was after midnight, and I know that like after midnight I went from Knoxville to Lebanon to Nashville to Mount Juliet back to Nashville. And I was like, that's a lot of hookups that I got paid for, so plus the mileage. Sorry guys, little bit, like I said, a little congested going on here, can't wait to get back so I can hopefully before going to sleep, take a little bit of medication, hopefully knock my ass out, clear this stuff out. So that was part of my hesitation with getting this episode recorded, was because I was like, man, I can talk, but I'm like hacking crap up, it kind of sucks. So I got to Knoxville and expecting, that I was gonna have to do empty load-ins. But I pull the 2 empties in there, and the assignment from Knoxville back to Nashville just says 1 empty. I'm like, that's interesting. They want me to take 2 empties to Knoxville to then take 1 empty to Nashville. Getting paid the same either way, you know, getting the drop and hook pay, I'm getting paid mileage. So like, all right. I was very tempted to just drop the rear trailer, drop the dolly, and keep the front empty pup and dispatch myself with that. But then I thought they're probably like shuttling trailers between hubs, like because they, you know, have to keep so many trailers in different terminals, like their trailer pool or whatever they call it. And I thought, you know what? Screw it. I was like, I'm gonna drop both trailers. I'll just grab a 53, take off. So that's what I did. Grabbed my 53, went about 10 miles away, and hit a Flying J to go ahead, fill up fuel and def because I was below a quarter. I could have probably made it back close to Nashville, but I was like, I'll just get fuel here. Why not? Get some points and whatnot. I'm all set for the week now when I come back and start the next work week and stuff. But what I was saying earlier, sorry about it though, I had to go on a tangent for a while to then circle back to what I said before about what I don't like about you know, when the load cancels is that then it seems like instead of working my normal hours, getting up like 3 in the morning, I do something like this where it's like gonna be 8:30 before I even get back to Nashville. And I've told my boss repeatedly, I was like, you know, I was like, he's always, oh, you want to do such a like, I was like, sir, I was like, I really do not like working straight overnight. I was like, I'll work late. I'll get done really late o'clock, like dark 30, whatever, like 4 or 5, hell, even like 5:30, 6 o'clock, when it might still technically be dark when I'm heading home. Like if I can get home and I'm in bed, and maybe it's starting to get light when I'm getting to bed, then I'm like, all right, I can live with that. But like right now, I mean, it's not. It's funny. It's 7:30, so technically the sun's up, but it's because we got weather coming in. I guess you know, we're getting some winter storms over the next day or two. Which I'm like, hey, well, perfect timing. I'm gonna be off, so I'm not gonna have to deal with it. You know? But I don't like I don't like working overnights. Because I did it for a while with doing security, and of course I had to live off coffee for a while, which is why I can't stand coffee now, because I drank it so much I got sick on it. You know, doesn't do anything for me. I would literally have to drink Red Bull or something to like actually wake myself up. But hey, part of towards tonight's topic, there's always something to be grateful about. Be thankful for or whatever. Because I don't like working the overnights, but at the same time, I need the money, you know. And so I don't complain about it, you know. And he's like, "Yeah, I got this for you, blah blah blah. You're leaving at like 11 p.m." Fuck. I'm like, okay. So then I don't even really complain at home. I'm like, well, this is what's going on. He's like, my wife's like, so when I literally came upstairs to, like last night or whatever, the night before, when he said, yeah, you need to be in Mount Juliet by 9:15, I was like, all right, cool. My wife had literally just got upstairs like half an hour before that or so. She'd been upstairs laying down for a little bit. And all of a sudden I show up there, put my computer away, starting to get dressed. She goes, "Let me guess, you got that text from your boss?" I'm like, yep. I was like, going to Mount Juliet, going to Knoxville, and then back. She goes, all right, cool. I was like, it's a little bit of a mileage loss, but at least it's something, you know. She goes, yep. I was like, I'll take some payday over no payday, you know. And like technically the other day when I had agreed to the extra run to Nashville to Mount Juliet, and then the dispatch to come back. Part of that was because like, well, I was like, I've got the hours. Technically, I can do it. And it'll, you know, the extra mileage pay, extra drop and hook pay for two different legs, you know. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. You know, so. And the reason why tonight I'm like not too worried about getting back as late as I am is because technically I'm off tonight and tomorrow. I have a feeling my boss might try to text me tomorrow. Hey, you want to work? No, dude. I was like, I literally had to spend half my regular day off in bed because I didn't get home till like 9 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, fuck off. No, I wouldn't say that to him. He's a good guy, you know. I appreciate everything he does. Don't get me wrong, I am, you know, that's one of the things that I laughed when he was telling me that, oh, I should be grateful because I've been running it pretty consistently. I'm like, well, I was like, that's not necessarily something I have to be grateful for. I was like, that's my run, and that's the run I'm assigned to. That's the run I got hired for, and if it runs, then I run it. You know, I was like, I can't help that other drivers are assigned to runs that have not been running very consistently at all for a while. You know, it just tells me that even though there's times where I wish I was on a different run, if my load cancels enough, I at the same time I had the chance to switch runs a while back, and I told them like, yeah, you know what? I was like, if you have backup runs that you can put me on if my load cancels, I'll just stay where I'm at because I already know the run, I'm familiar with it. You know, he goes, oh yeah, it makes sense. Because you have the team's number, so your communication with them, so it'd make more sense for you to stay on there. And I'll just, if it cancels, I'll put you on something else for the day. And I'm like, yep. So, but there's days that cancels 2 days in a row, and I'm like, oh crap, here we go. Especially when you're getting bills paid currents. You know, like bills that you've been behind on for a while, and you're starting to finally get to where you're almost there, and then you have like a week where you lose your load for like 2 or 3 days. Like, well, I was almost caught up. Now I'm gonna fall behind again. Shit, you know. But you know, that's why I've worked my ass off the past 3 nights doing other shit instead of my load, because it was either that or complain to stay home. But I was like, no, I'll go out. I'm like, what do you got? I'll do it. You know. But working these overnight hours, though, man. But all night tonight, I was literally like, I'm gonna enjoy my drinks tonight. Hell, I don't even like the people closest to me don't even need to ask me why my stress level might be as high as it is, because they know. They see my schedule that I work, and they're like, oh yeah, like Dad's always stressed out because of that. Like, yep. But I still put on a smile, still find things to joke about, laugh about, because I'd rather laugh than cry. So that's my advice to you guys. You know, it's like, you know, that friend of mine that I had that I told you guys about in one of the previous, like, first episodes that I referred to as D. It's funny, I thought I had her blocked everywhere, but I guess an account on Instagram or on TikTok popped up recently. And I was like, and of course I recognized her right away, and I was like, ah. And so I didn't even engage on her TikTok post. Like, I literally just looked at the I think I watched the video that she posted, but otherwise I exited out. I didn't like it or anything. And yet for the last couple days I keep getting the email from TikTok saying like, people that you engaged with, and it was part of her. It was one of them was like her popping up. I'm like, I did not engage with her. Like I didn't do anything on her post. So finally I figured out. All right, it took me a minute. Cause I guess you got to click a little arrow button that makes me think that I'm trying to share her post. But then it gives you the option to block that account. So I'm like, oh cool. All right, so I went ahead and blocked that account, so that way I won't. I was like, I don't want anything to do with her. I was like, if she ever wants to have anything to do with me, she could be the one to track me down and somehow find a way to reach out to me through an account that I don't have blocked. But otherwise, you know, I was one of those too negative, you know, could not deal with it. Always like, this sucks, that sucks, everything sucks. Life's miserable. Never gonna, nothing good is ever gonna happen. I'm like, yeah, I can't deal with that crap. Because, you know, I know for a lot of us, life is difficult enough, you know. And if you allow yourself to dwell, I guess would be the right way to put it, to dwell on the what's going wrong in your life, things that you're not happy with. Like if you only allow yourself to think about that stuff instead of positive stuff, you know, what's going right, even though there may not be a lot positive in your life, and I understand that, you know, 'cause I can't say that there's a shit ton of positive in my life. There is, I mean, there's a decent amount, you know, grateful for my family. You know, grateful for the fact that I'm not over the road anymore. That I'm, even though I work my ass off, still driving. And I kind of am over the road. I'm just not. I don't stay out. Like I do my 540 or whatever miles a day, and then I'm back in Nashville by the time I get done. So, or like lately, you know, might be like 400 miles, do like 5 different stops, but then I'm back and crawling into bed like 8 o'clock in the morning, you know. And that's another thing too, like by that, even though no matter how my night goes, like yesterday, got home and I would text the wife, I'm like, glad you made it to work safe. I'm like, I'm on my way home. She was getting home safe. Like, I'm trying, but I was like, I'm kind of like really tired. And she goes, yeah, just, you know, if you need me to call, I'm like, no, I should be okay. And she sometimes, I'll be like, I'm really like drifting off the road here, trying to get home. And she'll call me and talk to me for 10 minutes while I'm driving home. She's like, I just don't want you to have an accident, or I just worry about you. I'm like, yeah, worry about me too, because I don't want to work these overnight hours. Some of these nights kind of suck. But hey, you know, it's work. I got paid, so hey, you know. But you know, we gotta take the time to focus on the good stuff in our life. Like, yeah, you know, we could make more money. Like, yeah, we could pay less rent. You know. We could have our dream car, which for me, I do. Like my Ram, you know, that was what I was after for a couple years. I mean, is it a sports car or whatever? No. Or the full size truck? No. But I was after a crew cab Dodge Ram. Crew cab pickup truck. I was kind of like, it was up in the air what brand, what make and model is going to get, because I was like, well, it depends on whatever dealer I go through, whatever they have, what I can get approved for. So initially, I thought I was going to get a crew cab Ford F-150 through so I'm drawing a blank. That's probably being tired. I'm like, what's that dealership's name? Yeah, I can't. It's a dealership that I think it starts with a C, and I'm drawing a blank. Like I can't even, you know. Yeah, but it's one of those where technically they had preliminarily approved me. You know, it was like a pre-approval kind of. It's like, yeah, well, we think like based on your information, like you're approved for this much, so let's go ahead. Like, you want to order that truck and have it shipped here. So I paid, I think I paid $100 to have them ship it from Dallas to Nashville. And then we went in, or we, you know, got on the phone with them, and I talked to the lady. They ran my information, because I told them, I said I have $5,000 to put down in cash. And she's like, all right, cool. And she ran my information. The truck itself was, I think it was only like, because it was a little bit older truck. It had like 100 something. It had 110,000 miles on it. It was like $18,000 they were asking for, something like that. And I was saying I had $5,000 to put down, so I thought it shouldn't be a problem. She came back. She goes, yeah, so it's asking for $12,000 down, and that you're approved. Put that amount down, and your payments will be $620 a month. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. So you want me to? So it's $16,000 or $18,000. I was like, so you guys are only approving me for $6,000 loan out of the $18K. You want me to put the like 2/3 down, but my payments are still gonna be over $600. How the hell does that work? And she was, well, and so I said, yeah, I don't like, ma'am. I was like, because she was like, well, I mean, like, we'd love to work with you, whatever. And I was like, well, the problem is, like, I have, like I said before, I have $5,000. I don't have $12,000. I was like, so, and then went through one of the other ones, like drive time or something. And same thing, for a pickup truck to them, they wanted $10,000 or $12,000 for an $18,000 truck. You know, and I'm like, that's stupid. They say, well, for $5,000 we can't get you into a vehicle. Like, what kind of vehicle we're talking? Because I was like, I'm not, you know. He's like, well, we can get you like a small SUV, like a small, like a you know, Ford, I don't know, probably like a Rogue or something. And I was like, well, yeah, but I'm not after that vehicle. Like, I want a crew cab truck. That's what I've set my mind on. That's what I want. I'm not going to settle. Oh, okay, sir. Well, so sorry to hear that. Yeah. Okay, whatever. Fuck you. So, but and got off a little bit ranting and apologized, but that's probably being sick and tired. Literally sick and tired. So we gotta, we gotta focus on things that are good in our life. I got my truck. For the most part, got my health. Has been an interesting journey the past 2 months since I got the diagnosis for diabetes. It's like you can kind of tell. Like, for instance, had dinner with my wife last night at about 9:40 before I got ready to head in. She went to go to bed. I got ready to head into work. I debated. I was like, do I bring my last meal prep, meal that I prepped up for the week, with me? Because I thought, I'm only going to Knoxville and back. I was like, it's only like 3 hours there, probably 3.5 or so hours there, 3.5 hours back. Not a big deal. I was like, maybe I could get up there and back, whatever. Shouldn't be a big deal. And I thought, do I bring the meal? I was like, do I need it? Since I literally just had a nice big helping of hamburger helper. But then I thought, yeah, I better bring it just in case, because I'll probably still go ahead and heat it up because I thought, well, with diabetes, keep the blood sugar levels, try to moderate them a little bit, because there's times where like I'll be at like averaging around 120, 130. So you have to be between 100, 180, less than 180. Try to be over 100. There's times where I've been at like 88. I'm like, whoa, crap. All right. So I brought the meal out with me, and 4:30, 4:45, 5 o'clock this morning at Kodak, I went ahead and heated up that food. I know that technically, because it takes a little while for it to affect your system as far as your blood sugar goes, so I actually checked my blood sugar with my meter after I ate. Like, I did it right after I finished the meal. Went ahead, pricked my finger, checked the blood, whatever. 88. Oh shit. I was like, well, I'm glad I heated up food because that was pretty low. And then when I hit Flying J, I went ahead and grabbed 2. I said, fuck it. Even though they're like, hey, my doctors or whatever, they're like, yeah, you need to I mean, obviously watch sugar, but carbs are more important. Like, make sure to watch your carbs. Like, only do these many grams of carbs per meal, like 45. There's times, depending on how low my blood sugar is or whatever, that I'm like, yeah, I'm not even gonna give a fuck right now. So, like, I'll go ahead and just, like, I'll heat up, like, we have these little stir-fry cup of noodles that we get, that me and Allie, I think Aaron does them a little bit sometimes, but it's mostly me and Allie that do them. So we literally have a whole section of the cabinet. We'll always have like 7 or 8 or a dozen different, like the teriyaki chicken, Korean barbecue. I think she got some that were like hot garlic chicken or something this last time. Because the wife will buy some, and then like I'll get paid. I'll buy like half a dozen, and then my kiddo will get paid, my oldest will get paid, or her food stamps will hit, and she'll end up buying a bunch of them too, so we'll have a whole cabinet full. I'm like, well, I'm glad that we're all buying them, because that way they don't run out. Our team effort right there, It's another thing, grateful for what my daughter does, because before she left, we were asking her to help out financially with, like, because she'd offered, like, hey, what can I do to help? And we said, like, hey, if you're willing to help a little bit towards rent, like $200 every 2 weeks towards that $2,000 balance, that would knock off a little bit. That would take a little bit off bombs in my plate, and we'd be able to breathe a little bit easier. And said, yeah, absolutely. But then when the older sibling came in the picture, there's a negative influence there, and so she got to believe in that basically we were taking her for granted and taking advantage of her, even though we were like, you offered, like, we didn't come to you asking for this. But since she's been back, you know, she's on food stamps, and she uses that to help with the groceries with the house. And so I'm grateful for that. And the wife, you know, the wife and I have talked about the whole possibility of, well, we could ask Allie if she can financially contribute at all. And I'm like, I was like, I'm happy with Allie contributing towards groceries. You know, if she does have any money, any extra money at any point in time, and she wants to help, then that's on her. But I was like, but rent-wise and stuff like that, I said I do not want to go down that road again, even though I'm sure she'd do it. But I'm trying to basically make sure that we take care of everything that we've been taking care of all this time. All the time that Allie was gone, and then all the time since Allie's been back. Especially because our oldest is paying. She's not quite driving yet. You know, we're working on that part. You know, getting a vehicle for her. Getting an older vehicle that's pretty much paid for that we're getting for family or whatever. Got to go out to Oklahoma with my youngest in March and do that 800-mile drive back with that car. That's gonna be fun. Part of why I'm not flying out there right now by myself, because I really don't want to do that 800-mile drive between Oklahoma and Tennessee. And you know, solo. Even though I can do it, it's not a problem. You know, I'm a trucker. It's what I do. But I thought I really want to come out there with somebody, so that way I have company in the car. My mom's like, yeah, that's fine. Like March will work. All right, cool. I was like, I'll see what I can do, and I'll let you know. Looking at like that's when spring break is for my youngest. You know, try to avoid taking her out of any days of school because you know, there's been cold bugs and stuff that've gone around this year, and so she's missed. Like not really hasn't missed that much school, but as far as the school's concerned, it's too much. So we're getting that letter saying we have to go have a meeting with the teachers, and we're like, every time she's missed school, we email you guys, or we've got a doctor's note or whatever. But they're still like, yeah, well, legally we still have to meet with you guys, or a plan for how we can support your student, your kid, and the game plan and plan of attack. And I'm like, I understand, but you know, you guys are making too much a deal out of this, because for the most part, she's still there, you know. But so, you know, when he had this truck pass me and then like literally slowed down, and I'm like, okay, so you flew by me, and now you're. So I start to pass him, and I'm kind of slowing down a little bit, thinking like, is he gonna speed up so that I can't pass him, or is he gonna stay slow so I pass him? There he goes. He's accelerating. What do you know? So I was like, you passed me, but then you're slowing down in front of me. I was like, don't do that, man. Come on. It's like, if you're not going to stay up to speed in front of me, then stay behind me. And I got the cruise on, buddy. Got the cruise on. So, but anyway, so I just looked at the time and holy crap. I didn't mean to go this long in this episode, but, you know, I feel like I covered some good stuff, though. Hopefully you guys found some value in it and stuff. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much the point of this. Was things could always be worse. So all we gotta do is just, instead of looking at everything that's wrong, try to either look at what's good going well in your life, like things that are good. But also try to take advantage, like see if there's any part of those things that are not good that can that you can use to your advantage, kind of. See, look, like I almost said, hey, see, look, like he's doing it again, but you know, obviously we're in a podcast, you guys can't look. But the truck that I was talking about that got in front of me, slowed down, and then I started to pass, he sped up. Now I'm behind him, slowed back down again. I'm like, so I have a feeling I'm gonna be passing him and getting in front of him again. But so we always gotta think about, you know, what's going well in our life and see what you can do, you know, how you can work, I guess work some of the negative parts into your favor, I guess would be the right way. And part of the way I'm going to try to explain that is you guys know, because of the Storytime Fridays, that I've been focusing on my writing. And so lately, what I've been telling myself, even though I'm stressed if I lose my load and I'm sitting at home, but then I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, but if I'm sitting at home for an extra day, I guess that just means extra day. I can either knock out the writing project ahead of time so that I don't have to do as much when I'm on my off days, or I can knock it out but then still end up writing on my off days and have extra. Maybe I work on my book, I make progress on my book, as well as work on the story for Storytime Friday. You know, so that's kind of been my mindset the past couple days. Is, you know, if I'm off, then, you know, I'm just tonight when I'm staying up late or whatever, you know, since I try to keep a similar schedule, I don't really go to bed early, even if I'm off. I might stay up to I might go to bed like 2 or 3, but I don't go to bed like midnight or 10 p.m. or something, because I'll be up really early the next day, and then if I work that day, then I'll be up to like 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'll be like tired as hell, you know. So, but that's what I've been doing lately. Been telling myself, well, if I'm off tonight, I guess I'll just work on my writing. I'll keep moving forward in whatever way possible. Do what I gotta do. So that way, you know, it's not just a lost night. I can literally say, okay, well, I didn't work. I didn't have any loads to run, but I still got some of my writing stuff done. You know, it's not gonna lie. Part of one of my big goal, a big goal I have would be to eventually be able to be a full-time writer and full-time podcast host. You know, it's like I know eventually, like the next big thing for the podcast will be getting a website active. You know, I've already got the domain for it. I just need to get hosting and get a website put together and set up. And I already have like plans. Like maybe I'll have a part of the site where I'll have promotions, like people that want to promote, like they want to have me list like their opportunity or their product or something. You know, maybe it could be listed on the site, or it could be a part of the site where they submit their information to me that they want me to talk about in the show, to give their website information or whatever, and have a part of my site where they can submit their stuff to me, like, hey, I want to advertise my business and such and such, whatever. And I can be like, all right, cool, you know, and then I could arrange with them, like, all right, well, yeah, to advertise would be this much per month, you know, or this much per episode that I advertise for you, something. I don't know how it works, because, again, I haven't done it yet, so. But, anyway, guys, I think I've talked your ear off enough, but, I know one thing I wanted to talk about, that when I was trying to think of, like, a topic to talk about, was, like, you know, just not only being grateful for the things you love, being grateful for the people, you know, because it's like, you know, there's a lot of us out here that probably aren't quite as blessed with having family to go home to or whatever. Thankfully, I'm very grateful. I'm something I wanted to actually do, kind of a shout out to my wife. You know, I don't believe she's listening to my podcast, but if she does, Erin, I just want to let you know I love you. I'm truly grateful for you. I know that, you know, we both have each other's backs, and we've been there for each other no matter what. I know we've had our issues, but, you know, 17 years later, and we're still fighting through it, fighting the good fight. And like the other day, what made me think about this was, I think it was, when I was doing the Knoxville and the Lebanon and Nashville and all that. When I was out in Knoxville, my wife texted, and she was like, she's like, morning, and I'm like, morning. And she's like, yeah, she goes, how you feeling? I said, I was like, I'm pretty tired, but I'm awake. Got all wheels on the ground. I'm good, you know. She goes, yeah. She goes, because I know that I'm exhausted, so I can only imagine how you feel. I said, well, I'm like you. I was like, or you and I are pretty much the same. Like we're both dead ass exhausted all the time, dead on our feet, and but yet we do what we gotta do. We push forward. And she's like, yep. And it just touched me a little bit. It made me think. It kind of made me feel like my wife acknowledged like what I was going through, because it's one thing like if you have people in your life that all they want to do is they want to vent to you about their stuff, but then you start to talk about your day, and it's like they go to they want to go to sleep or whatever, like yeah, whatever, I don't want you, you're boring, I don't want to talk to you. But to hear my wife actually acknowledge, like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're like exhausted and stuff, and just want to make sure you're okay, and I was like, it meant a lot to know that. I mean, yeah, she's my wife, but it meant a lot to know that someone in general cared, And so I'm grateful for that as well, because I know there's people in my life. I know my parents care. I know my in-laws care. And I know I have friends that care and cousins that care. There's a lot of people in my life that I haven't talked to in a while that, I know they technically care, like my cousins from up in Connecticut, and I know they care, but I think a while back when I was doing the online business route with doing the Facebook Lives and stuff, I think they pretty much unfollowed me, and I'm still connected with them. But I think they unfollowed me on Facebook because literally, like, I see their stuff, but they never. And I comment on their stuff like, "Oh my God, that was awesome! Congratulations!" But they never engage in any of mine, so I don't even think they even see my stuff because they probably unfollowed my profile, whatever. And I'm like, all right, but you guys can't like refollow, so you guys can like, But they're also the ones that like the cousin I used to talk to all the time, like every day. Those cousins up there kind of got pissed at me at one point, saying that after I'd visited them 3 times, and then we moved out here in Tennessee, they complained that you don't come up to see us anymore. I was like, I came up there to see you like 3 or 4 times. Like, you guys haven't visited us at all. So I was like, okay, And to keep it along with the topic, don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for the times I was able to go up there and see them. But then, since coming down here, it's a little bit more of a drive. In Philly to go to Connecticut, it was like 200 miles. Down here, we're like 800 miles. Well, 800 from Philly, so it's 1,000 from Connecticut, but some of the cousins now live in PA, so it would actually be about 800 miles probably. But I'm grateful for the time we had with them, that I was able to see my aunt and uncle before they passed away, and I was able to go hang out with the cousins a little bit. I do miss the fact that we don't, like, literally we're not as close anymore. We don't talk every day like we used to. It kind of sucks because family's important. But when I look back, I'm like, well, that wasn't me. Like, I was still available. She just stopped talking to me. So I was like, I don't know. But she was getting married or whatever. So when she got married, we just stopped talking. She had a family. Now she has a bigger family or whatever. And I try to be supportive, but I'm like, well, you guys don't give a shit. So anyway, guys, it's just, that's one of the things that I am grateful for, people that care. Because I know that there are people in my life that care, and there's people in your life, even if you don't feel it, guys, there are people, I'm gonna go out on a limb, because I don't know how everyone's life is, like who's in each other's lives, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that we all have at least somebody in our life that cares. Like, we're not alone. You guys aren't alone. And if you guys feel it, you're alone. I'm gonna throw that email out there, guys. You're always welcome to reach out, and I can cover a specific topic for you, or if you want to go back and get email back and forth, whatever. If you just need someone to talk to. LogicShowPodcast@gmail.com. Let me know what you think of any episodes. You can ask me any questions. If you want me to acknowledge on air, I'd say on air, not on the radio, but hey, you know what I mean. But It's out there if you guys need it. If you guys want to comment on any of the episodes, if you guys want to request a certain topic to be covered for Real Talk Tuesdays, if you want to comment on the stories, because I've actually had some feedback on, quite a bit of feedback on the couple of stories I've done so far, and so far I haven't heard anything negative. I've heard a lot of really good, a lot of positive stuff. I'm really looking forward to the next one posting, because that one is a lot longer story. There's a lot more substance to it. And so that one I think you guys really like. So on that note, guys, I know we're at like an hour and 10 minutes. So I'll go ahead and let you go. But just remember, guys, you guys aren't alone. There's always somebody out there. You got me here. Feel like I'm always going to be here on Tuesdays and Fridays. Tuesdays for Real Talk, or whatever random topic I can think of, and Fridays every week. Storytime Fridays, guys. New story every week. Feel free to like and follow. Tell your friends. When I post when these episodes air, in the show notes on each episode, there's also going to be a link for it's through my my hosting platform that I go through for my podcast. It's a tip link. It has like the ability to choose like 5, 10, 50, or like custom amounts. If anybody ever, like if there's anybody ever that wants to actually financially contribute to the show to, help support it. Otherwise, main support I definitely ask for is if you guys like and follow, and if you guys want to, especially if you're catching this on like Spotify, or I think you can rate on iHeart. I don't know. I've listened to so many podcasts on iHeartRadio. I just clicked the follow button. I don't think I've ever rated an actual podcast, but I'm sure there is, because I've listened to multiple shows that talk about like 5-star rating is so helpful. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sure it is. But like, I've been going for a while, and I know my number of listeners has been improving the past couple weeks since I started doing the stories. But But on Spotify, I wasn't rated yet. Like I got one rating recently that put me like 5 stars. And, oh, cool, awesome. But I didn't even pay attention to that. I was more focused on like making sure to get good content out there, get good stories out there, and let the people know that I'm out here and stuff, which is pretty cool. I had a cousin message me the other day when Storytime Friday episode posted. She said, "Hey, Cuzzo, it's your cousin Michelle, blah blah blah." So shout out to Michelle if you I think that's how you pronounce your name. The way it's spelled, I'll admit, I don't know, but and we type, we don't do voice clips, so otherwise I would probably hear and be like, oh, that's how you pronounce it. It's like people pronouncing my last name. They're like, is your last name pronounced Blodgett? Like it's Blodgett. Oh, Blodgett. Okay. So anyway, guys, I'll quit rambling. But just know you're not alone. You got me out here hanging out with you every Tuesday and Friday, and of course you got the email address. You can drop me a line if you want to. Keep pushing forward, keep believing. Believe you can, believe you will. You're already halfway there. You just got to go out there and do it. Don't focus on what's going wrong. Instead, try to focus on the good in your life. Just try, even if you got to be silly, be a goof, whatever. Find little things that you can just joke about, laugh about. End up pissing people off because you're always laughing about it. Well, because I'd rather laugh than cry, so fuck off. They would, like, some people would rather sit around and complain about how bad their life is. Like, well, okay, how is that going to make your life better? Because then you see videos of those same people, and they literally have this permanent scowl on their face. It's like, so how's life treating you? They just give you the bird. I'm like, oh, okay. So, anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all being here with me, and this kind of talking to you guys today while I've been on my way back to Nashville, because I'm literally like probably now half an hour away, or less. Probably about half an hour at max. So you guys have hanging out with you this morning is kind of giving me something to do, keep my mind occupied, so I'm not like overly tired. And I'm doing what all all of us, when we go to work, try to do. You know, we go to work and we want to come home safe afterwards. You know, so that's what I'm trying to do. My wife texted me like 5 times, like, you know, I just worry about you. Get home safe, please. I'm like, I'm working on it. I was like, I'm tired as hell because it's like 8:15 in the morning right now, and I've actually been up since yesterday at 3 p.m. So got up at 3, went to work at 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I'm almost done with my day. Can't wait till I look forward to my normal run. Hopefully, we're getting back to running every day, so I don't have to do this overnight shit. But when thinking about the positive and being grateful, I'm grateful for the fact that I did work and I made money, so there's that. But keep pushing forward, keep believing. We got this. Take that negative, like if you have downtime because of like a job fell through or something, and there's something else you can do, like another project you can work on to keep moving forward, like what I'm doing with my writing, then take advantage of that downtime and do something productive, you know? So anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys all joining me on this week's Real Talk Tuesday, this milestone episode number 60. And yeah, every time we hit a new, I guess you could say a new decade, not really a decade, but you know, the next 10 episodes in, you know, yeah, it's a milestone. Just like I can't wait till we're up in the hundreds and be like, holy crap, I can't believe we have this many episodes. But anyway, guys, I love y'all. There's nothing you can do about it. Believe me, people have tried. I appreciate you guys all tuning in with me. Please do hit the subscribe button, like and follow, tell your friends, and come back with me this Friday for the next round of Storytime Friday. On that note, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. We'll see you then, and we'll talk to you guys on episode 61. Keep rocking it, and we'll see you guys later. Have a good one.